So I'm not sure, the real reason why. And maybe Kolar, from what they saw in practice, he's not quite ready yet.
Let's dive deeper into some of these injuries with Dr. Ralph Zade.
Injury Report is brought to you by Orthopedic Associates of Central Maryland. In pain? Contact the experts at Orthopedic Associates of Central Maryland at mdbonedocs.com. Care this good feels good to the bone. Injury Report.
Doc, let's start with Ronnie Stanley, who got rolled up on by Lamar Jackson, hurt the same ankle that he's undergone 3 serious surgeries to. For a guy like him, it's got to be in his head, right? Where if anything happens to that ankle, he's really got to be pretty scared. How much recovering from injuries is mental?
There's definitely a large part of that. I mean, especially with certain injuries, it's been well documented, like ACLs. There's a big mental part of returning, just because you're kind of being thrown back in the same situation. I mean, he's, I think, a special situation where, he's undergone so much for this ankle that, there's probably a mental aspect, but there's also, somewhat of a physical aspect of, sort of healing, so many times, recovering so many times, being able to get back to, where he was before is probably relatively difficult. His ankle probably, isn't going to feel exactly the same, which might be something he has to get used to, and may not feel right, for a very long time, if ever.
Hey, Ralph, I don't know if people know that you're a Michigan alum. I mean, how excited were you yesterday? Because I was totally shocked that they won that game.
I mean, not to get off topic, but I have to admit, it was really the end of the game. I don't know if they necessarily played better or OSU, sort of just fell apart. But it was a pretty exciting game, I have to admit.
Hey, Ralph, when I saw Kyle Hamilton, it looked like that it was didn't look like a knee to me. It looked like he was kind of favoring his upper thigh, or his upper hammy type thing, and then when they said knee, I was a little surprised. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem, or at least it didn't seem like something, major, like instability. In other words, not like a ligamentous injury. It could be a distal, like a lower hamstring injury, which is, attaches in the back of the knee, more or less like a sprain. It seems like it's something like that, in that it wasn't anything that looked significantly serious. And sometimes, sprains, strains can take a little while to recover from. So I think it's probably more something like that, like maybe a distal hamstring, lower hamstring.
Ralph, I say this every week. I'm not the smartest guy. That's why we bring you on every week to break down these injuries. Isaiah Likely, Ronnie Stanley, both have ankle injuries. They didn't fly with the team. Why would those type of situations, why would they not want Likely and Stanley to fly to Jacksonville with the team?
That's a good question. Things like lower extremity injuries have been associated with a higher risk of things like blood clots associated with flying. I don't know if that actually has anything to do with, why or why not they would let them, go up in the air. But that could be a reason. I mean, it could have been just that they had other things going on, other evaluations, or perhaps other forms of treatment that are going on that they figured might be more important to get, going as quick as possible to get them back for next week. But those could both be possibilities.
He's Dr. Ralph Zade, joins us each and every week during Baltimore Game Day Uncensored. And, Ralph, thanks so much as always. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
All right, Ralph.
You got it. We're an hour 20 away from kickoff. Ravens, Jags in Jacksonville. Coming up after the break, we're going to climb the depth chart. Demarcus Robinson, he's the Ravens' de facto number.